Marian Salzman, Senior Vice President of Global Communications at Philip Morris International. She joins us on the phone from New Canaan, Connecticut. Marian, thanks so much for joining us here. I know you guys have a report out, your Zoomsday predictions, 2021 predictions for shifts that will make their mark in the new year. Talk to us a little bit about some of the Zoomday predictions you're thinking about for 2021.
So I think the best way to start is actually to go backwards and say, what did we predict 2020 was going to be about? Sadly, we got it dead right. It was chaos. The cover story for that particular issue was "Chaos is the New Normal." I wish I was so prescient that I would have understood that it was a pandemic, but we did already see the kind of chaos that was driving society forward, and we knew that was going to make a big difference. I think what the pandemic has done, and I believe will continue to do into at least the first half of 2021, is this sort of collective angst about the future. Have we gone too far with climate change? Is mental health in such a deteriorated state that we really do have to be worried about our own mental health, the mental health of our children, even our safety on the streets because of other people's mental health? So I see a big gap between the first half of the year, which I think is going to be this collective psychological depression, and the second half of the year when, if we're lucky enough and these wonderful vaccines end up distributed enough that some of this herd immunity kicks in, I think there is going to be an irrational optimism, this desire to see the good in things, to once again reaffirm our belief in science, because science will have taken us back from the brink. So I see lots of changes, and it really starts with right now people are zooming in on the things they can manage, their own home, the supply chain for their home, meaning those groceries, those deliveries that they need, the safety and sanctity of their home, the wellness of their own immediate family and of the people in their immediate community. And then I see a lot more just also in zooming out, this recognition, even as in your introduction, it doesn't matter that there's a border between the UK and France or the UK and Colorado. Somehow this new variant is here. And I think we're going to all have to begin to embrace that globalization isn't something we can pretend hasn't happened. We are living in a global society, and we need to make accommodations to be sure we do the best we can given that truth.
Marian, are you one of those folks that believe that there will be some correlation between the 1920s and human behavior in the 2020s, the roaring 20s?
I'm not necessarily, no. I see many more correlations between Y2K and what I call C19. I think with Y2K, we got all involved in the preparation, and then the tragedy didn't meet the preparation. I think what's happened here is we didn't prepare, and the tragedies exceeded the preparation. So we're going to flip into a mode where I think science is going to be center. What did I see on television last week? Medical school applications are up nearly 20%. We're going to see people wanting to go into science and technology, and they're going to try to get ahead of the next pandemic. Anybody who believes this is the last pandemic, well, I'd like to know what they're smoking so I could order some.
Is there any reason to believe that this is anything but a 1 in 100 year type of situation? What has changed that would make pandemics a more common part of our average life?
So I'm a trend spotter, not a scientist, but in all the reading I've done, I see many correlations to climate change. I see many correlations that mean it's not a 1 in 100. And I'm not going to say to you it's a 1 in 5. What I think we're going to need to be ready for is these kinds of pandemic-like occurrences dramatically more frequently. If you think about what really got science to the place we are in today, it's an extraordinary debt we all have to the LGBTQ community and the scientists that stepped in to look for ways to reduce the risk of HIV. So it's that science that was pulled forward. I think we're going to see many patterns like that. No, I don't think this is a one-off at all. And I think the relationship to climate change is a real one. Mm-hmm. And I think we're in a dire situation in terms of clean air and clean water.
All right, well, we'll come back in just a moment. We're going to take care of some news and some business, and then we're going to come back with Marian Salzman. She's the Senior Vice President of Global Communications at Philip Morris International and a trend expert. We'll come back and get her thoughts on some of those other big topics. But right now, let's head out to our 960.